Something else that is coming back, or I should say came back, but there were lots of issues with that, is Love is Blind, the live reunion show on
Chris.
Netflix. Now, this happened last night live. Well, kind of live. So apparently this was Netflix like second endeavor going into like, let's do a live show. They've been wanting to do a live stream, and of course they did the Chris Rock live stream. It worked well. They enjoyed it. It all was perfect, right? No problems. This not so much. Nope, the live stream of Love is Blind reunion was delayed for many, many people, thousands of users, thousands. And a lot of them couldn't even watch it at one point. By the time that they actually got it up, the live stream was actually done. It was all over. It was done and it was in the can. And now they're putting up on Monday to watch it today so you can stream it. But it's not what the point of it was. When you're pitching something to be a live stream, there's an issue here when it doesn't work. And thousands of your users were affected by this. It's not good. It's a high-profile failure for the company. And they're trying to expand in this live program. And by having an issue like this, it doesn't help your cause. It really doesn't. Now, Netflix had this to say, but they said Netflix first dating reality show and matches couples by having them get to know each other from the privacy of their pods, and which one they don't discover what their suitors look like. So it's kind of like blind date, I guess, in a way. And they made an announcement about this. They said, everyone who stayed up late, woke up early, gave up their Sunday afternoon, we're incredibly sorry that Love is Blind reunion did not turn out the way we planned it to. And a user on Twitter actually said, we deserve to share the same password after all this. So I laughed at that quite a bit. I was like, what? Rachel, I want to go to you first because you brought this to my attention. And I know you were really fired up about this. You're one of those users, right, that were waiting to see this. So what do you think about Love is Blind being delayed like this and not getting to watch it live?
It was the biggest mess I've ever seen. There was millions of people. Obviously, no one watched the Chris Rock special if their servers crashed with this many people watching, a reality show reunion special. Which it is their biggest reality show. Love is Blind. This is the 4th season, so it's been going for a while. And honestly, the season was not as good as the previous seasons, but that's not the point. So they had been advertising for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's this big live event. You have millions of people waiting to watch it. And then it takes an hour and 15 minutes to start. Absolutely absurd. And then when it goes on, you have the host, Vanessa Lachey, and she's like, well, we wanted to do this live, but now it's not live. Oh, well. Like, what kind of brand messaging is that? That's horrible for Netflix, who is already suffering with their goodwill right now within viewers because everyone's, pissed off about the whole... Which apparently they never launched with the password sharing and watching it in different regions.
Oh, yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. But they have terrible will right now. Their numbers are plummeting. Their show bases are not all that great. Reality is kind of one of the big things that they're locking into right now. So when they just completely fail at the one thing that people are tuning into them for anymore, besides Stranger Things... So they've got like Stranger Things and Reality, and that's all they've got, and they're failing at one of them. So it's really bad for the brand. And even when the show started, they had all sorts of technical issues. They had all sorts of sound issues. They had all sorts of just problems. And honestly, it wasn't worth waiting an hour and 15 minutes to watch. But people would have been less pissed off about it had it started on time. Twitter 100%. Was great at that time, though. All sorts of brands were going out and, throwing shade at Netflix and getting in on it. So all sorts of other brands got all sorts of great press from this. Even Blockbuster got in on it. Blockbuster was like...
Even Blockbuster?
Remember when you used to rent a movie and you could actually start it when you wanted to? And I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
So,
well, I hear Blockbuster's coming back, so that's one of those things, too. So maybe they're trying to get themselves out there again, which I don't know how that's going to work for them. But you're right. It's bad for their brand. The fact that you're trying to be like, this is our next venture, and a company like Netflix should have all their shit down. Like, we have technical issues, but like we're not the big brand of Netflix. You know what I mean? And the show still goes on. But so they should have had something worked out, some kind of backup or some kind of tests, so they didn't have these issues. They should have been rehearsing this, making it work every time. Get people in, get stand-ups. Whatever you gotta do, just try the live stream, make it work. before you go live, because then this happens, then you look like, you screw the pooch. And then on top of their actual stock like dropped today because of it too. Of course it's going to do that,
Which is reasonable. If people are going to lose faith in their ability to produce the product that they're offering.
Yeah, what are you going to do? People are not going to trust you. And then again, they've been suffering through the years as it is, so this is not a good sign for Netflix.
I don't think they're really suffering.
Well, no, they've been losing money. They have not been doing well the past year. Netflix has not been doing well.
Definitely not really suffering.
Haven't. Well, I mean, they've been having to cut content. They've been having to. I mean, it's not been good. They've been firing people, laying people off. The stocks have been dropping. They've been having issues.
But the company is not suffering. I mean, they're fine. They're going to be fine. They're a multi-million-dollar company. It's not a big fucking deal. It's for the people who work there that are getting laid off, which is the same for Disney or Warner Brothers or any other fucking company. It is what it is. Like, it's an adjustment period from
someone fired after last night.
Yeah, somebody's getting fired. That's for sure.
My point is, like, why the fuck are you live? Like, why are you live? I don't understand. What is the point? Do we need to see live what happens on a Love is Blind reunion fucking show of all fucking things?
Right.
Like, no, we do not. Also, did we need to watch Chris Rock live? No. Like, I mean, I did see him live because I went to two of his performances. But for Netflix to have just filmed it, like they filmed Dave Chappelle and everyone else that they did for that whole Netflix is fucking stupid tour, which they did for like an entire summer. I think that's what it's called. Netflix is stupid. Am I wrong? Google it.
Is that what it might have been called that? I remember seeing that too. I'm like, Netflix.
It was something. I think it was Netflix is stupid. I wish Liz was here. It was something that was derogatory towards Netflix, and they just basically did tons and tons of PR and fucking taped all of these comedy shows for all of these different comics and like aired it as a special. Like, I don't understand why you had to do that live. You could have just taped it, cut it together, and fucking put it out there. Like, I don't know what what your
appeal of a live reality show reunion, because like there's always stuff that gets lost in the edits, and like you get drama and you get like the full like sort of situation. Like, I see why they would market that, because like what? That's kind of the whole point of watching reality show, because it's shit anyway.
Love is Blind.
Yeah,
but it's all edited. So who gives a fuck?
Absolutely. The whole I could take it or leave it, but I see why they would try to do something like that.
If they edited it, Rachel, I guarantee you it would be more salacious and more fucked up than it would be live, because they'd cut it the way they wanted to cut it. And one person would say one thing, they'd immediately go to some other shit that happened 20 minutes later in the show.
Right.
And put it together and make it look more fucking dramatic and more salacious and more fucking crazy. So like doing that type of thing live is almost like it's almost, I don't know, like it's counterproductive is what I'm trying to say. Right. Because what you want
it was
is drama and bullshit.
Them be able to like in real time be like, no, that's not what happened, and not have it be able to be cut out.
Right.
So that was kind of interesting, them being able to kind of fight the editing a bit, because they pointed out like they talked about the editing a lot in it, and like, well, that was edited, they fought against the editing a lot, which I thought was really interesting, because you normally don't get to see those conversations, because of course they cut those right out, because they don't want you to think about how much it's edited.
There's something to say about the whole thing that, a live atmosphere versus an edited atmosphere. Like, what's that going to be? Like, what's more, attractive? A lot of times, though, of course, like Sabrina was saying, is like they edit, and then they can make things more, dramatic, and they can build tension with the editing, and they can make it kind of come together. But for me, again, too, like, I feel like the live format could be fun. I think a lot of people like that, too, because it's like one of those things where you have no idea what's going to happen. But people miss. Right. Camera guys miss stuff. The live switchboard people miss stuff. And then all of a sudden, it's just gone. So then they can re-edit it, though, for an actual, like, playback later on. But, I think it's just they're expecting more drama, because it's like, oh, you have no idea what's going to happen. It's live. That's what they kind of bank on, I think.
So well, it crashed the fucking servers. So.
Yeah, that well. It freaked them out so much, I just think that it doesn't look good.
Broke Netflix.
It doesn't bode well for Netflix.
They should have been way more prepared, and it was a mess. I could not believe what I was seeing, and they had the worst elevator music playing for the live stream while you were like waiting for it to start. And you're like, I don't need to listen to an hour and a half of this elevator loop. It was terrible.
Well, I just gotta say though, that's the worst too, because they're waiting for it to come back in. But for me, for Netflix, like maybe you take a moment to think about this. Like maybe this isn't your world. Maybe this isn't your medium, Netflix. Maybe you should just like focus on what you're good at, making original content, getting the contract from like the 90s and the 80s and putting it up there and people love it, and focus on that, because this live thing is very difficult, and apparently you don't have the infrastructure set up for it. You don't have the manpower for it. You don't have the people behind it. You don't have what you need to make this work right if you have such a colossal failure as what happened last night. And that's just a problem that as a company you have to sit back, think about for a second and say, do we really need to do this anymore? Is this smart? And I think at the end of the day, they need to just take a break from this. Maybe take a couple years and build it up and then try it again if they really, really want to do it. But I mean, I don't know, this is like their very first like reality show too, right? This is their very first thing, so it's like it's a big one.
They've had a ton since this one. Like they aired the first season of Love Is Blind in like 2019 or something like that.
Okay.
And then they've just launched hard into reality. They have tons of reality shows now, and they had a show where they took the reality contestants from their other shows and put them all in a show. So it's a whole market for them. They're leaned hard into it.
But not live.
No, they shouldn't. Yeah. They shouldn't do it live.
Maybe
other realities live reality reunions on regular network TV. So that's probably where they got the inclination for it.
It's probably too much bandwidth. It's probably too much bandwidth. I mean, you have too many people, too many cameras. The Chris Rock thing is probably a couple cameras. One person on stage. It's much simpler to shoot than to do a live stream with a full cast like this. So. Sorry, Netflix. It didn't work out too well this time. Maybe next time. Hopefully next time. Or just don't do it ever again. Let it be. Right, Sabrina?
Sure. I think they're...
At the stream, they announced the next season of another one of their shows called The Ultimatum. And they're finally doing an entirely queer cast from one of their reality shows.
Oh, wow.
And I am so excited for that. Because you don't get a lot of that. You don't get a whole lot of queer-based dating shows. So it'll be nice
you really
to
don't.
see them do something with that.
I mean, Netflix making it happen. If you love it though, if you love the show, Love Is Blind, and you didn't get a chance to watch it last night, you're one of those people tweeting out at Netflix being like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck?